Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Prayer to the Most High blesses this lesson today. Gives order knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth so that we may get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Just coming to you guys real quick, just to kind of give some more clarification and some more backing to the last video, talking about how these other nations, try to act as if they can figure out all these things that are happening thousands and thousands of years ago. And they're so sure of, what the Star of David is, and telling you what happened before the flood, and telling you about how the fact there's no giants anywhere, and then they're so sure about everything, but as of today they still can't tell you who the true Hebrews are right in front of their faces. If they can't figure out something as simple as who fits the prophecies, then I'm not going to believe anything they have to say about things that have happened thousands of years ago, especially when their people weren't the ones given the documentation by the Most High. This is a book that was a page that was screenshotted and sent to me, and by one of the brothers, in the truth. And I wanted to share this with you because this is so true about what you're seeing today, about how these people are, they were blessed with all this knowledge and information, but they can't, or they refuse to acknowledge, who were the people who had this information originally? Who were the people that they exploited to get the riches that they have today? Who were the people that they exploited to get the lands and the resources that they have today? The turning away and ignoring our plight is nothing new. It's something that we see going on today, but this was going on as soon as the Europeans were brought to the fourth part. I wanted to show this. I mean, this just popped up. He sent it to me a little while ago, but it went absolutely perfect. The Most High led me to this picture, and it went perfectly with what we talked about earlier. It goes with Revelation 11 and how we're laying dead in the street for 3.5 days, and the rest of the nation, the rest of the world, is living it up. This is how that prophecy has already been fulfilled. See, they're still thinking there's going to be two witnesses that are going to come over and walk over there in the Middle East, and that those were the two witnesses. See, they can't acknowledge the fact that they've destroyed our people and took everything from us, and that's how they live so high on the hog today. But them doing that today is nothing new because they did it as soon as they got here. Check this part out right here that he highlighted. Considerable changes had taken place in the island of Hispaniola. During the absence of the admiral, the mines had fallen into neglect. The cultivation of the sugar cane having been found a more certain source of wealth, it became a byword in Spain that the magnificent palaces erected by Charles V at Madrid and Toledo were built of the sugar of Hispaniola. That's the main thing right there. It had become a byword to tell the truth. It had become a byword to talk about the exploitation of the Hebrews in order for the Gentiles to build these magnificent places, these magnificent palaces. It had become a byword to admit how they got these resources. And this was going on in the 1500s. Fast forward to today. Has anything changed? People talk about how great this country is. They talk about the wealth and how it's the most wealthy country. They talk about how, it's the greatest military, the strongest nation ever. the richest country ever, to talk about all the great things this country has accomplished. All the while, it's a byword to talk about the destruction and the exploitation of the Hebrews, and the way they had to exploit the Hebrews and take away everything from them in order for them to get access to all these things that they have access to, all this money, all this wealth. All of it came by exploiting the Most High's chosen people. And see, that's why when we bring it up, it's like a byword. That's why they never talk about that. They say you're racist for bringing it up. They say, why don't you get past that? Why? Because it's a byword. When we tell people who we really are, they don't want to have that discussion. Why? Because it's a byword. Because then they can't, brag about being the self-made men that they love to tell everybody that they are. They can't brag about how they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. So in order for them to be able to live this lie, they have to create another reality. And that's exactly what we're living in. And as you can see, this was already something that was going on in Spain as soon as they got here. The Spaniards knew that they weren't getting these palaces and this wealth because they earned it. They got it because we went under the curses, and it was given to them by the Most High. And they refuse to give the Most High the credit. So they make up an alternate reality. And this alternate reality is still present and alive today. I saw, let me see here, this video going to show up? Or do I have to, okay, hold on. Let me go back. This video popped up today. I'm going to show you guys real quick. From Steve Fletcher. He talks about how Israel is God's clock. So, but what Israel is he talking about? He's talking about this Israel. Now remember, in the Bible, in Revelation 11, the two, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom, the two prophets are laying dead in the street for 3.5 days. The rest of the world is loving life. It is now taboo to talk about the exploitation of the true Hebrews. So they made up an alternate reality. And this is it right here. The alternate reality is raising up another people and ignoring the ones that are actually the true source of the wealth of the world. And this is so true. Israel is the Most High's clock. But these people refuse to acknowledge who the real Israelites are. So as long as they ignore who the true Israelites are, their clock and their breakdown and their prophecies will always be wrong. And then we go here. Let me take a look here. And here it goes from the video here from Ricky from Boston. And talking about, this is what they saw right here. Okay. And you can see, the Star of David behind here, being put up in the sky. And they'll call it something different. We'll play a little bit of it just so you guys can hear it. Okay. Let me go here real fast.
Remember that in the live stream, Brandon said that he videotaped the Star of Remphaim in the sky. Remember that. This video is important because I'm going to show you what I believe this ritual did, because right afterwards we were seeing demonic entities entering our atmosphere or coming through the firmament, and I'm going to show it to you. So stand by. Stick with.
Okay. Now, these are definite signs that are definitely going on right now. The Most High is putting these signs out in the open for the world to see. Now, the understanding is trying to figure out, what do the signs mean? Do they portend, negative things or positive things? And who are they for? Are they negative or positive for the Jews or the Gentiles? What does it mean? There are people getting stuck on, is it the real Star of David, or if it's not? Like I said, if people cannot admit who the true Hebrews are because it's taboo, that's there to let um, you know, where their loyalties lie. Their loyalties lie in creating and keeping this alternate matrix going. I said that's what's going on, and I thought that picture right here was absolutely perfect. There's all these signs going on in the sky. There's all these signs going on in the world. But as long as it's taboo to talk about how the world really got to the place where they're at right now, they'll never be able to actually break down scriptures the correct way. All these other Gentiles want to act as if they are self-made men, that they got where they are today by working hard, when they didn't work hard for it, but the Most High blessed them with their opportunity and used them to fulfill prophecy. Now the truth is coming out, and many people are just continuing with the lie all the way to the end, just like the days of Noah. They're continuing with the lie, continuing to live as if things are going to go on forever, continuing to ignore the plight and the destruction of the true Hebrews. So if you've been blessed to be able to awaken and see the truth, get on your knees and thank the Most High. Because as you can tell, very few people have that opportunity. This world wants to act as if they've worked hard and they've earned everything. But that all came because they made it a byword to tell the truth. It became a byword in Spain and the rest of the world that the magnificent palaces erected by Charles V at Madrid and Toledo were built of the sugar of Hispaniola. Everything that this world has was taken from our people, and like I said, piecemealed to everyone. That's your Psalms 83. Everyone got a little piece. They got their hush money, but now the Most High is pulling their card. Now the Most High is showing them that they have lived in a total alternate reality, and now He's coming to collect. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.